Hello, all. Welcome to another edition of Damage Per Podcast. I am your host, Sam Lake, and joining me today is the one, the only Max Hard himself, Mitch Reeves.
There's Max Sweat right now.
Max, hey, Max Uncomfortable, dog.
Yeah, yes.
We are here today to talk about the influential, often cited, much nostalgized video game,
Mm,
Max Payne from 2001, which is it's just it's like it should be in a museum, honestly. It should like they should put Max Payne,
yeah.
they should put Max Payne. Actually, if you look up, they have like the Max Payne outfit like on display that like Sam Lake
Mm,
wore.
holy shit.
Like the
I'd
jacket and like the weird
I'd go
like
see that.
Hawaiian like shirt. I know. I forget where it is. I'm gonna post a picture of it because I saw it and I thought it was the funniest thing.
It's amazing.
Not as funny as the
That's like
video. What's that? Go ahead.
what about podcasts that I listen to? And I guess it's sort of game adjacent, but it's like a bunch of the guys that used to be at Rooster Teeth.
Hmm.
Um, they got into bidding on movie auction things.
Oh, nice.
And you actually, it's funny because I just realized who I'm talking to about this. But they bought, so the first thing they got was the tuxedo from the Tuxedo, the Jackie Chan movie.
Nice. Nice.
So they got that, and it's just stupid shit, right? To do dumb shit with,
Right,
like to
right.
try to recreate the poster by putting one of them in it and stuff. They don't. It's not like they're collectors. But then the second and only other thing they've ever bought is Nick Cage's outfit for Snake Eyes.
Oh my God.
So
That
they
is
have his suit, all the jewelry.
that's like that's like in that movie with him and Pedro Pascal, where Pedro Pascal has
Yes,
the room full of Nick Cage things.
massive talent. Yeah, yes. I love that movie so
I know it's
much.
so good. I think I was like, if I could have that room like full of that stuff, I would.
Mm,
All I have is,
absolutely.
you know, close to 100
I
DVDs.
have. I was gonna say I got DVDs and Blu-rays all day, but
That's pretty awesome though. And that Snake Eyes outfit is
it's killer.
nice. I mean,
Yeah.
that's primo trashy Brian De Palma at his best.
Oh yeah, big
You know what I
time.
mean? Good stuff, man. Now I
Hmm.
feel like watching Snake Eyes. What a good movie. Um, what did I watch? Oh, I watched like a breakdown of 8mm the other day, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
good movie.
that's one I need to revisit. Honestly, it's been a minute.
It's a mean movie
Yeah,
because they just there's no real light at the end of the tunnel of that movie. You know,
right.
it's like
Yep.
that movie with him and Nick Cage and Elijah Wood where they're cops or whatever. Or they like rob
So
that house,
random.
whatever. What is that? I forget that.
Yeah.
Whatever movie is.
Oh shit, I don't remember.
That was so good.
You'd think I
Um,
would because I like Elijah so much, but yeah.
so yeah, we're gonna talk about Max Payne today because we just decided that we're just gonna talk about Remedy until we die.
Yeah.
Remedy Entertainment until we die. I think the only game we really cannot play, or maybe you can, it's on Steam, is Death Rally, but
Mm,
I don't think we'll do that one. And there's also that weird game they did that was like that military shooter that they somehow got co-opted into doing, and nobody knows why
mm,
other than a paycheck. It's supposed to be
right.
terrible. It's supposed to be terrible. So I don't even think it needs uses like Northlight or anything. Anyway, um, so yeah, we're gonna walk down memory lane, talk about Max Payne. Max Payne for me was very seminal, influential in
Hmm.
my video game taste as a youngin. So, and I'm sure Mitch, you have your own history
Yeah,
with
I wasn't
Max Payne,
a
but
youngin, but
yeah,
yeah.
you were high school, you're early high
What
school.
90? What? No, it's 01.
Oh one
Yeah,
Twin
no,
Towers,
I
baby.
was. Yeah, I was. So I didn't play it in 01. I played that. Let's see, that the PS2 was actually the last console I got for that gen. So I probably played it 03-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was married and I was already working at the hospital. Uh, got my PS2. I remember Devil May Cry, Tekken
Nice.
4 was like the main thing I wanted. and then I ended up getting Max Payne not long after.
Tekken 4, man. That
So
Tekken's
not
good.
high school.
Not high
Yes, it is.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Have you played the new Tekkens? Like 7 and 8, whatever they got
Uh,
now?
no. I think six was the last one I played,
All right.
or
Are, uh,
maybe seven.
what
I
are
don't
they
know.
like? Are they any good anymore? I don't know.
I end up enjoying the how they do those weird campaign modes and like
Love it.
fighting games
Yeah, I
now.
love them.
I like doing that stuff. I don't
Hmm.
I don't necessarily get like I'm not good enough to like compete in fighters.
Oh
So like
yeah,
I
me neither.
appreciate, something like NetherRealm that gives me, yes, the fighting game part of it, but also there's a story and like characters and stuff like, like, and I get to interact with the characters and watch how they interact and then I whoop their ass, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Speaking of which, thanks for actually, this is a good segue. Um,
Mm.
I got myself the Switch 2s, and I also with the Switch 2s I got myself a copy of Street Fighter 6.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I want that.
That game is good. That is a very good
Mm.
game. And
Yeah.
there's so like you have like there's so much stuff packed into Street Fighter 6. By the way, if you get the whatever the Fighters Edition version,
Mm.
they have like there's like the standard thing which is like the arcade mode and practice versus all that kind of stuff. Then there is like the battle hub mode, which is kind of cool, where you kind of run around in this like MMO kind of like hub thing,
Hmm.
and you just like sit down at an arcade cabinet, and somebody else sits down. That's like a another person, and then you guys fight. So you can just like sit
Mm.
down at a table and just wait, and then somebody else will come
Oh,
along and they'll
that's
be like, "We're
cool.
gonna fight you," and it's like that. It's very cool. Like it's very cool. There's also in the Battle Hub area, there's like old arcade machines that you can play like old Capcom games, like just right there for
That's
fun. I was like,
crazy.
that's this is very cool.
That's awesome.
And then there's a story mode where like you create your own character and you
Yeah,
basically
that's what I
like
was excited to try.
yeah, and it's cool because you can create your own character and then you meet like the Street Fighter people like in the city and you can like
Mm.
you can be like a student of theirs and like take on their certain abilities. So like I really like Chun-Li's style. So like my
Okay.
character is a mix between like Chun-Li and then like my own thing, whatever,
Hmm.
because you can kind of mix around the specials too. So you could take specials from like, you know, uh I don't know, Guile, and then also like combine it with Chun-Li or something. So you have two different types
Hmm.
of specials. It's very cool. But the funniest thing about the story mode is that they basically live in this reality where like everybody just fights each other in public all the time. So like you can fight any of the NPCs that's in the city. You can just
Oh
walk
my
up to
God.
them. You could just like walk up to them and just be like hit the fight button, or you could just like attack them, and then you just start a match, and it's amazing. And it's just like
That's the
they
shit.
and like everything is solved with just like Street Fighter matches in like the city. Like you fight like baristas and like all kinds of it's
Oh
just
my God.
it's
That's
bananas.
incredible.
Like it is the most silly. It's so stupid. Like it gave me faith again in like sort of the big budget like just the Capcom big budget games of like, oh yeah, we're not afraid to be like really stupid anymore. Like I
Right.
miss really stupid video games like that. Like
Yeah,
they
for
didn't even try
sure.
to like make like a very serious story whatsoever, and I'm so glad they didn't. Um
Yeah.
and yeah, I highly recommend Street Fighter 6. I mean, I think it's been out for like a year and a half now, but
Yeah.
they just put out the not just the Switch 2 edition, but the years 1 and 2 edition, which basically combined the DLC
Mm.
from the
That's
last.
what I tend to do because I know
Hmm.
there's going to be like nine different versions of every. Because Street Fighter is my favorite like fighting game franchise,
Hmm.
and so like it always has been. And I'll play, Tekken, and I'll play. I like Virtua Fighter a lot,
Hell yeah.
but Street Fighter is my shit. Always has been. But I usually wait till like the final version of it. So I actually five I did buy because
Hmm.
I found it pretty cheap, like the OG, like not because I don't think it did that well, and so
Hmm.
the price came down pretty quick. But then I still bought the ultimate one when it came out, so I have two versions of five. But
Yeah, they
six
do.
I've been holding off for like
They do like the
that ultimate.
Turbo Alpha Matrix
Right.
doubled squared version.
Hmm. But that way I get all the. I just want all the fighters. Like that's my main thing.
Yeah.
So
New fighters in Street Fighter 6 are pretty dope. And also
nice.
the drive system that they put in this one is very cool as well, which kind of you can like the way you can use it to knock people out of their attacks is very very fun to do.
Mm,
But there's like a risk reward situation where if like if you use it too much, you can kind of get like fatigued and you can get knocked out faster. Um,
hmm
so it's cool. I am like you in which I am not particularly amazing at like fighter games, but I do really like them because they are fun to play.
hmm
And as someone who's a pretty casual fighter fan, like I really like Street Fighter 6. Um,
Nice.
yeah, very much recommend it. And because they have the NSO GameCube thing going now, I've been playing a lot of Soul Calibur 2, which I would highly recommend.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, go play some Soul Calibur 2, you guys. It's
Hey,
good.
man. Dreamcast, but still my favorite console.
There you go.
I still play Soul Calibur.
There you go. It's a good one. Um, Speaking of Dreamcast, Max Payne was gonna be on the Dreamcast, but it
Hmm.
never made it because Dreamcast got canceled.
Yeah,
So, but they had a build
I
of
would
it
have
that they
bought it.
showed at E3. They had
Oh
a whole
shit!
hell had a whole Dreamcast video of Max Payne, but yeah, couldn't.
I'll have to look that up
Yeah, man, it's weird.
because I
Um,
would have been all about it.
yeah, it was very weird times. Mitch, what are you doing? What do you want? What are you
I
playing?
am I am
You're fasting kind of. You're strength
uh
building. You're becoming
no actually.
Ryu.
No, well, yeah, I am working out and stuff again. Just not so that I look like Ryu, just that I won't drop dead. But uh, no, I've been waiting for Bungie to tell us anything about the Edge of Fate. They've been weirdly quiet, which makes me nervous. They did drop a trailer. They did a live stream thing yesterday, and the trailer looked pretty fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we're getting a new location, but they're just not talking a lot about what the campaign and what we don't know what the new activity is yet. And this type of thing that makes me nervous because there's so many changes coming to the sandbox and to the systems and to gear and weapons and tiers and this and that. And I'm like, boy, that probably took a lot of time to work on all that stuff. So it makes me wonder just how much content there's going to be for us to use these new systems in.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. But in waiting for that, I have picked back up Final Fantasy 16. So I've been playing a lot of
Hey,
that lately.
are you playing it on
Yeah,
PS5 or are you playing it on
yeah,
Xbox? Okay.
PS5, PS5. I bought it on PS5 when it first came out because it looked really good, and even if I don't play them, I always buy the Final Fantasy games because like the ones that I have played, I really liked.
Yeah.
It's just RPGs are such a time suck for me, and
Yeah.
when Destiny is already the biggest time suck in my life outside of the
Mm-hmm.
hospital, it's hard for me to get into like an RPG and stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, this one because I started it, God, a long time ago. And I was like, this is really good. And what inevitably happened was Destiny did something else, and I was like, well, I put it down. And so since this season, the current season ended a while back. The
Mm-hmm.
wait for Edge of Fate has been pretty substantial, and so I was like, I wonder if my PS5 still works. So I had turned it on and waited 6 years for it to update 19 times, and popped in on Final Fantasy there, and I've been
Just
playing.
bricks on you. Yeah, you cannot use the
Yeah, I
system
know.
anymore. Does it is it I
That
don't
good.
own so I don't own a PS5, but what does that thing what that thing sound like? Is it just quiet? They just everything's quiet
Oh,
now.
it's not. I mean, it's not like the quietest thing on earth, but it's certainly not. It doesn't sound like a jet that's about to take off like my
Yeah,
PS4 did.
not the PS4
You know,
was
it's
special.
it's
Yeah.
it's pretty quiet.
When I first got my
Um,
PS4, when I turned it on, I was a little worried. I was like, did I get a bad
yeah,
PS4?
yeah, especially if you're playing physical games,
Yeah,
because
I was
when that disk
like,
drive spins up, you're like, ooh,
woo!
like that's what it should sound like towards the end of its life, not when I just opened it.
I know exactly. It was terrifying. I was like, I just want to play the new
Yeah.
Killzone. Oh my
hmm
goodness. Oh my
Exactly. I got
goodness.
Killzone. I got Battlefield 4 again. I already had it on 360, but I bought it to play again because I really liked the campaign. and I got whatever the NBA 2K was that year. Those
Hey
were my
man, you
first
know
three.
them launch cycle games are always always fun, bro.
Yeah,
It's always
yeah.
like one
I
game,
mean,
and then
I thought
like
Killzone was really good. I
no,
like
no,
Killzone.
no. I'm not saying I'm not the blah. Sorry. What I mean is like there's always like one game you like really want to play that like shows off the tech, and then there's
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
basically repackaging of other games that are
Oh
already
yeah, yeah, yeah.
out.
Things. Yeah, that you could have bought on literally anything else you already owned. Yeah, yeah,
You
for sure.
know, happens is what happened. Nintendo just did it. Like it's just like it's the
Yeah,
same.
right,
It's like, hey, you
right.
got here's some games that you've probably already played, but you could buy them, and also here's one game that everybody wants to play. So there you
Right.
go. Oh, and playing Cyberpunk on a Switch too is wild. So
That yeah, that's certainly interesting.
it's
I
it
never finished like oh shocker, I never finished it on Xbox. So if I were to play it, I would probably just I'd have to start over to be honest, but I would still
mhm.
probably just play the Xbox that I have.
Yeah. It's I mean that all just because it's like I mean the fact that it's all on the cart is crazy to me, but
Yeah, it is.
the
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
it definitely is like that's like I would say that's more of a magic moment for the Switch 2 than even like anything else they did with their tech. It was like more like, hey, you
Mm,
can run Cyberpunk pretty all right, and everything's on the cart with like everything, all the updates that they've had so
yeah,
far, and
it's
um,
fucking crazy.
it's
It
just
really
very
is.
crazy. It's so crazy, dude. I was just kind of like, I put it, I like popped it in, and I was like, all right, let's see how this like. Here we go, and then
Yeah,
you know, you're out in the desert or whatever, and then you go to the city, and I was like, this looks great. This is amazing. So
yeah.
props to CD Projekt Red for working whatever Polish black magic they have to make games run. Um, cool, man. Well. That sounds good. Yeah, I think Bungie is just in a state right now where I don't know, I think they have everybody who's like head of management like in a room, like on their knees with their
Mm,
hands tied behind their back,
hmm.
and they're all sweating and they got blindfolds on, and
Yeah.
they're just like spinning a chamber and just clicking it to the back of their heads, like somebody's got to go. Somebody's gonna
Yeah.
go.
Well,
Uh,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak to. I can just speak to what it looks like on my end, and
mm,
yeah, I think most of the problems at Bungie aren't necessarily on the dev level, and they're 100% in the corporate,
corpo structure, yeah. I mean,
yeah, in
there
the conference rooms.
yeah, it seems like they're having a pretty rough year here. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure they're doing some rethinking and restructuring and what have you, but I'm sure the
Hmm.
Destiny stuff will continue to be fine. I don't know what the numbers are on Destiny. Like,
Oh, it's bad right now.
oh, is it bad? I was gonna
Yeah,
say like if they're
the right of the nine thing has not gone over well, um, and then like I said, just the lack of information or like even letting us know what the hell Edge of Fate's going to be,
hmm
and then all this other stuff, it's one of those things where the internet has decided that it's time to hate on them again. So they were like, the pre-orders are down like significantly lower than the final shape was, which of course it is because this is a new thing and that was the end of a 10-year long thing. But
right.
that's not what the article says. The article is it's more clickbaity to say that it's down 50% or whatever it is. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm still gonna play it. I don't give a fuck.
Give me my loot. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
wanted to shout out a listener who pointed out an incorrect statement I may have made. Well, it's like it's one of those statements that's like I made it incorrect, but it's also like one of those things that's so convoluted due to corporate structuring that it's very
Mm-hmm.
hard to follow. But
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to read the comment out loud because I think it's a pretty good explanation. Very uh
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
yeah, good explanation, well written out and is specific. But so, Mikhail Skopstov, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your last name, sir. Um, wrote in the into the comments for the sorry Alan Wake 2 podcast. He said that, and I quote, Remedy always owned the IP rights to Alan Wake. Microsoft. Sorry, let me start at the beginning. I'm enjoying listening to this episode, but there's some details incorrect. Remedy did not buy back rights to Alan Wake 2. This is a popular misconception. Remedy always owned IP rights to Alan Wake. Microsoft only had an exclusive publishing license to Alan Wake and Alan Wake Another American Nightmare. Technically, then, there was nothing preventing Remedy from making Alan Wake sequel other than investment. For years, Remedy went and pitched Alan Wake 2 to various publishers, but nobody wanted to do it. The budget they had in mind until around 2018 and 2019. Remedy received a royalty payment of 2.5 million euro as a one-time income in connection with this. The publishing rights to Alan Wake and American Nightmare reverted to the company. Remedy has not revealed the details of what happened, but I bet it terminated its original publishing license with Microsoft early for those two games. Remedy also didn't buy back anything related to Quantum Break. Well, yeah, I guess. This is still an IP wholly owned by Microsoft, which is why Alan Wake 2 introduced
Oof.
alternate reality doppelgangers of its key characters, remaking Quantum Break within the Alan Wake franchise. So there you go. I think, yeah, I think the it's funny because you think that or like a company or a video game company like thinks like, hey, like if we get in bed with like these big guys, we will end up like it will help us in the long run. I mean, it did
Hmm.
pretty much, but it also like causes a lot of like convoluted sort of where money goes and who owns what for a long time, right? And I don't
Hmm.
know. I think Remedy came out on top. I think they're doing all right. Oh, I suppose we still got to play
Yeah.
Firebreak, but um, I've heard, I've heard I've
I've heard
heard
it's good.
I've heard it's good. I've heard some like things that's like it's good, but it needs like a little more time to cook, which I think they're kind of working on.
Mm.
So I don't know if I want to jump in just right yet. I kind of want to wait till they like smooth out some of the just like the content delivery or whatever, but very excited
Hmm.
to play that. A person I do listen to quite a bit about video games. His name's Jeff Gersman. He used to work for Giant Bomb and then GameSpot bought it and then they were at GameSpot and then he left and he does his own thing now. And wait, was it GameSpot? Or, sorry, let me back that up.
Oh, I
Yeah,
was gonna
he
say,
used to
I
work
thought
at
I remembered him from
GameSpot.
GameSpot.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
used to work at GameSpot. He left to make Giant Bomb. Giant Bomb was
Mm.
independent. Then they were bought by the conglomerate that is IGN. This too, you might have
Mm.
to fact check me. But anyways, they got bought by a bigger company in which they were up and running for a while. Jeff Gerstmann had some issues with just corporate management there and left. And recently, they have become their own thing again. Giant Bomb is now their own thing again. They had just actually got their independence, but like there's only like one person there now that I remember from the old days. So I don't know. It's not really the same site it used to be. But anyway, he was talking about Firebreak on his own podcast and how much he actually just thought it was weird and quite liked it, where you can just shoot like sticky notes, or you have to shoot sticky notes, or like
Hmm.
burn sticky notes. And he thought that just like this is really stupid and fun. And I was like, all right, yeah, that sounds great. It just seems like the progression stuff is just not quite where it should be yet, I think is the issue more than anything. So, but I'm very excited to play that. You know, we're going to talk about it this year, so don't worry.
Oh yeah.
He will give it 2 months to cook. All right, man. Let's talk. Uh, Max Payne. Max Payne came
Yeah.
out in 2001. It was developed by Remedy Entertainment, and it was published for the PC by the Gathering of Developers. Uh,
Hmm.
and then it was published on consoles by Rockstar. So it's kind of like one of those weird things where it's like, oh, who owns what now? So if you remember too, like in that time, I think so Gathering of Developers and Rockstar had a bit of a relationship because like things like Oni were
Mm.
that was published by Gathering of Developers on PC, I believe, and then Rockstar published it on like PS2. So
Mm.
there's like I don't know, there's sort of like this weird back and forth they had, and then I think eventually Rockstar, who is owned by Take-Two, correct? I want to say that's who owns Rockstar. Who
Yes.
owns Rockstar? I think it's Take-Two. Yes, Take-Two Interactive. They ended up actually buying out Gathering of Developers, and then it just kind of merged into one thing, and people. as video game history goes, things happen, shift, change, people leave. Um, so for me, I remember getting, I don't remember like, oh, I know what it was. Got the, I got like a demo disc in one of those Xbox
Mm,
magazines, you know, those back in
hmm.
the day when you get magazines and they
Oh,
have
I love those. Yeah.
discs on the inside. And I can't remember what they cost, those magazines, but they were like, I mean, comparably to today, was pretty
Mm.
inexpensive. Like it was,
Oh, show you. What's
I-
Fango's like? What, $20 or $25 an issue now? Like, yeah, it's
yeah, I'm trying to think. Like I can't remember. Let's see. Original price of Xbox. Wow, I totally did not spell that correctly. Magazine. 7.99.
yeah. Holy shit.
So for $8, you get a whole disc with games demos to play on it and like movies to watch. It was, or like, you know,
Uh,
trailers to watch. Man, what a good, that was like, that was how you got like the
yeah.
internet in your house, basically.
Yeah, my roommate Walt used to steal the discs out of the poly bags at Walmart.
Good
So he didn't
job, my
even pay the
man.
$8. Yeah.
Now you like, that's crazy though when you think about like how inexpensive
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
anyway, so what happened? Anyway, so I got a, I don't know, I got to play Max Payne on one of them and was like it was like that opening level like when you're in New York and it's the snow and it's like the training level and then it was I think it was I could be blending it all together, but it was definitely like you played the opening like subway part when you're in the subway.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I thought it was like, I mean, as someone who like loved The Matrix, I was like, oh my God, this game is made for me. Like this is amazing. It's hyper violent. It's
Yeah.
like all kinds of things. And then I eventually was able to buy a full retail version of it, I think at a GameStop, and I played that game on every difficulty, which to me now scares me because I don't think I could still like do the hardest difficulty of Max
Oh, I
Payne
know I
now.
couldn't. Absolutely not.
But like I would just sit and just like checkpoint my way to the end, you know, like I would
Yeah.
just, you know, sit and wait and try to get to those checkpoints to win. So like it was a very formative game for me and
Hmm.
I loved it incredibly. And that's sort of my history. And then you said your history was you got the PS and I got the Xbox version and you got the PS2
Mm.
version, correct?
Yeah, yeah, PS2 and back in the days when I was printing game guides off of GameFAQs.com because I got stuck pretty early on
What a
in the
good time to
game.
be alive.
I know I could not figure out what to do to progress, and I was missing a button. I had to press a button to open the door or something. But like, it wasn't the best look. Everything was muddy and gray, and like, it wasn't like flashing. So I just remember I could not figure. So I had to go to the game facts and look at what to do, and like press the button. And I was like, oh shit. But yeah, I just I remembered. Um, I loved it once I got past that initial frustration.
Hmm.
But I playing it again for this was like it was super fun and kind of nostalgic, and because with a lot of the things that we've played that I'm replaying, I'm like, well, I only remember this thing, or I remember this one thing about it. But
Hmm.
uh, for Max, like obviously I remember Bullet Time, and that just blew my fucking mind, back then. Bullet Time, and then I loved the um the voice acting, and I like the comic book presentation for
Hmm.
like the cutscenes, and like I remember the fucked up like dream sequences, or I guess when he's drugged out of his mind sequences and stuff. But I forgot like so many things, particularly because it's pretty repetitive,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
initially, and I feel like it does enough. Like after that first act or whatever,
Hmm.
it opens up a little bit, and the locations have a little more variety, like not a ton,
Hmm.
but I really I liked how it even like weapons you get more weapons after the first act.
Hmm.
The first act's just shotgun and Berettas and a Desert Eagle every now and again.
Hmm.
But it really, even though you're still just jumping into rooms, shoot bad guys, go to the next room, shoot bad guys, it just given the weapon variety, for me, I was like, man, this is way cooler than it was when the first act when I first
Yeah.
was playing.
Yeah, I think it suffers from like early game development syndrome where it's like it's like they or not early game development syndrome because I feel like or just early making games at that time when it was
Yeah,
like
it's a product of its time. Yeah,
yeah, full 3D games. They're like, ah, we guess
Mhm.
we do a lot of interior levels that look very samey
Yeah,
because we don't know what to
right.
do.
The most sparsely
Yeah.
furnished rooms.
So so like one of the funny things that I was doing some research on Max Payne, but for Max Payne 2, they hired like former NYPD officers to take them around, like to take the like research team around that would take photos and stuff
Mm,
and like take them to like the worst neighborhoods in New York City.
that's amazing.
And so Sam Lake, he said that he didn't actually visit New York until like Max Payne 2 and he's like when I got here it was not what I thought. Because like all he knew was like Hell's Kitchen. Like
Right. It's like,
so like I don't know, it's very funny that like their depiction of like New York City was just like a giant like a giant PvP arena of like
you're right.
mobsters, which is like
You're right.
which is like not a reality anymore. Like it's not like that anymore at all. But like I like that they thought that like New York City would just be full of these I mean the
Every
guys you fight, especially like the Italian mobsters you fight at the beginning, like when they talk, like it's so like it's such a
yes.
stereotype. It's so funny.
Right.
And they're like I mean, for me personally, like one of the best things about Max Payne and about Remedy in general is what they do with like just basically like background audio or background conversations where you'll just hear the
Yeah.
guys being they'll be like okay when he comes through the door we'll shoot him real
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. Like everybody except Max is either in the mob or a junkie. Like, like,
Yeah,
like
and like the drug doesn't even like have any like benefits at all. Like I don't see anybody
no.
get like nobody says like it makes you feel good or anything like that. It just turns you into like this like like I don't know, like twitchy homeless man, like
Right.
basically.
Yes.
Hmm.
It essentially like yeah, it essentially it's either going to kill you or completely destroy your life.
Yeah. And it
Like
and
most drugs, only but without the added benefit of the high or whatever it is you get.
yeah, like they got this whole like city addicted to this drug called Valkyr that like makes you see Norse related imagery.
Mhm. Yeah,
And the reasoning behind it was they were trying it's the whole super soldier program thing again, but this time
which
the
I
night
completely forgot.
yeah, which
That
I
shit blew my mind.
but like the nice twist on the Max Payne formula is that you don't run into any like super soldiers. Like it's just like a failed
Eh,
yeah, I get
there
like
are
you don't
some bullet spongy bosses.
sure, but like you don't have like you don't see them like get these like Hulk looking dudes that were like
No, no, yeah, right,
it's just like
right.
it was a failed
Oh, even
experiment.
though I thought it was gonna go full on like satanic supernatural with that first boss though, and I was like, wait, did I forget this? Because he's like talking about the wolf and all that type of shit, and I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, and
No,
like I was like, is this dude gonna be like a demon? Did I forget this?
no, man, it was just Sam Lake just putting like Norse mythology into his
Yeah,
like even
right.
the club is named oh my God,
Uh,
what's the club's name? The Goth
is it
Club.
Ragnarok?
Ragnarok, yeah. It's
Yeah,
like the Goth Club. The Goth Club is
yeah,
named Ragnarok.
yeah.
Um, yeah, there's just all kinds of goofy shit in this
I
game.
love it.
I know
I
it's so
love it.
good. It's like if Senua's Blade was just not serious at
Yes,
all.
right. That's what I was about to say.
But like it's so funny because I think too like this will be more of a discussion when we get to Max Payne 2 because Sam Lake wrote this very when he was just a baby boy basically. And then like after the first Max Payne he went to take writing classes. And so
Mm,
the writing from Max Payne to Max Payne 2 like his usage of like certain like the false start thing and all that stuff like is more apparent in the second game.
Mm,
And it's pretty cool to see like how he jumped from because you can see like the inklings of it of like him like writing this very noir
hmm.
noir York City as he called it. Uh you know like this character like he was very influenced by like Raymond Chandler and like the Humphrey Bogart movies and like
Hmm.
he really wanted to like emulate that but like in a way that was like very comic booky and so he made you know Max talk very dramatically like like just so silly like the way he says the things that he says. I think there's like one time he said the blood on my wife's chest looked like jewels or something like that. Like he says things just so, and I think that's I mean it's really just helped by the fact that James McCaffrey is amazing. Like I miss that guy so much because only he
Hmm.
could deliver those lines and not make me burst out laughing. Because
Right.
like you know what I mean? Like he's like
Yes.
the way he just smell he just you can just smell the cigarette smoke coming out from like the
Hmm.
screen when he talks. Um
Hmm.
and he does such a good job at that line delivery, which requires like a certain amount of just I don't know extra drama to like really pull it off,
Yes.
and not sound like a wise guy from a cartoon, like "Hey, I'm Max
Right.
Payne," you know, something
Right.
like that.
Yes.
Jesus. Yeah. And then I mean the game basically escalates to the point where like, okay, we're gonna kill these mob guys because I'm trying to find out who sold these drugs that these guys are on that killed my wife and baby. And then it goes to like and then it just like goes up, you know, it's the classic like it goes up the thing and it's like, oh, the mob's working with the cops and the cops working with the government.
Right.
It's very silly, very fun. Um, and then, but like gameplay wise, you're right. Like it's kind of a game where it's like, here's this, here we're doing this one thing, and then basically, in order to make it more difficult, we're just gonna throw more guys at you, that can just absorb more bullets. And that's like
Yes.
that's really kind of just the difficulty. It's still
Yeah,
the
there's
same,
a
like,
couple of those guys. I was like, am I supposed to be doing something? Like I was like, I'm not progressing here. Like I was
mhm.
like, I'm almost completely out of ammo, and this guy's still shooting at me. Like, am I supposed to trigger like something to fall on him, or like, am I supposed to run? Like,
And if you're lucky, you can
and
just
if
walk into a room by accident and just get shot, and
oh yeah,
then it's over.
yeah,
That's what I like. That's what I like too about Max Payne. It's just the run in the room, get shot in the face simulator.
yeah, basically, yeah. Sometimes you can hear them, like you said, but most of the time, nah.
Nah,
It's
nah, you
just
can't. I yeah.
there's a door, and you walk in it, and there's 3 to 5 guys waiting for you to walk in. Like,
It's so good. I mean, a game that did this same sort of thing, but like couldn't pull off the silly story was a game like Dead to Rights, which is really fun to play.
mm,
Has a
yeah,
similar thing where like it gets very hard because it just decides that it's going to kill you faster. Um,
right.
and but also like there's like that story's very silly. There's even a villain in Dead to Rights that sounds like Christopher Walken. Like the guy just
Mhm.
imitated Christopher Walken, but like in a very like in the most comical way to imitate Christopher Walken.
Love it.
I'll have to send that video to you. Yeah, Dead to Rights
Yeah, I haven't played that in a long time.
that's a fun game, man. Dead to Rights, all right. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember liking it.
yeah, got the doggy. Yeah, the best part was having the dog.
Hmm. Yeah, 100%.
Anyways, back to development for this game. Sorry. Remedy used an in-house engine for this, which they are, you know, this is a lot of why I wanted to talk about Max Payne or just like revisit it is that you can see a lot of what Remedy did in the early aughts or late 90s that they have continued over 20 years later, like as their like their sort of procedure and how they make games. And like for this, they had a in-house game engine called Max FX that they used. And this is what they used to make the whole Max Payne world in both the games, which I think is really cool. And they also conceptualized the idea of bullet time before the Matrix came out, which is a thing that's often missed, is that this game was in development before 1999. I think they started in 97 and working on it. And they had the ideal bullet time then to do it. And then once The Matrix came out and they were going to set up for the release for 2001 because this game was delayed a lot.
Mm,
It was originally supposed to come out in 1999, and kept getting delayed. Um, but they did, once they saw The Matrix come out, they're like, "Oh, we can just capitalize on this whole thing, and the bullet
yeah.
time thing will work in our favor." And it did. And I mean, they a big reason it took so long is they were doing everything themselves. I mean, literally, like they used Sam Lake's face for Max, obviously in the first game,
Hmm.
and then they used like friends and family for like everybody else that's in the game. Like one like the soda delivery guy was like was made into like one of the mobsters that would come
Well,
to the
his parents were the big bads.
his parents.
I actually
Oh,
saw
yeah,
Sam Lake's
yeah,
his mom was like the big bad lady, and then the guy with the eye patch was his dad.
yeah.
I actually saw that. I did a little research, and
There
I
you
watched
go.
a YouTube video about the game, but that was the thing that stuck out to me the most. I thought that was so funny.
You know who else wears an eye patch?
Mm.
Odin.
Yep,
There you
there
go.
you go.
Listen, man, it all comes together.
That's
I
right.
I think too, like what I also really like seeing in Max Payne that you still see today from them is of course like the meta TV shows that they have play, where it's
Oh
like
yeah.
a show that is basically retelling what you're playing, but with like an even more
Mm,
over the top character.
right.
And I just think that they kept that forever, and I think it's like genius that you can still see it, in 2001 we can still see it with them doing because I think the character they wanted to call the character Max. Max, it wasn't Max Payne. They wanted to call him, what did they want to call him? Max. Oh my God. Hold on a second. They
For the
wanted to
Simpsons, call
they
him Max Power.
Max. Yeah, they had a different name for Max Payne, and then at the last second they changed it. Oh my goodness. Let's go. This is good radio for everybody.
Yeah.
Want to hear me?
I mean, I can't fill the space with anything, so we're just gonna have to sit here and wait.
No, it's totally fine. I mean, I just this is why I don't know why I didn't put this in my notes because I have my notes up and I didn't put it in there. Oh, also that there's a Game Boy Color adaptation of this game that
There is.
that is apparently for what it is not terrible. It's Mobius
Yeah.
Entertainment put that out actually.
There's that is the review for so many Game Boy games.
What's that? Oh,
It's
the
not terrible for what it is.
I mean, Nintendo was cooking with the Game Boys. What can I say?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Max Heat. That's what it was.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, they decided to change it to Max Payne, which I think is better in my opinion. I think
I agree,
it's
but
a very better
Max Heat
name.
sounds like a different kind of thing
Different
altogether.
kind of thing. You can play Max Payne on your iPhone, by the way, which is really weird. You can pay
Oh, that's
You can
cool.
pay $3 to buy it. I almost did it just to see what it was like, and I was like, no, Jesse, you got to stop somewhere. You
uh,
can't be playing
I'm
Max Payne on
sure
your
it's
iPhone.
I'm sure it's touch controls, which means I'm out. I don't need that shit. So
Oh, it's definitely touch controls, but I was like, well, I mean,
yeah.
how do you do this? But I can't, I had to look it up. Like I was today, I just looked it up on my phone. I was like, yeah, you can buy Max Payne on, on the App Store.
I mean,
Very,
I love that, but it's not for me.
yeah, I mean, I love that for for whatever child,
Yeah, yeah. Or
whatever,
hey, if you've got the nostalgia for it and you haven't bought a console since the first time you played it, you have a phone. I mean, go for it. But
yeah, if you're a YouTube baby, you can definitely get it now. Although, like I said, if you just find yourself a Xbox disc version, it runs really well in a Series X or probably S as
yeah,
well.
that's how I played it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it on the Series X.
Super clean, super like just really you know. Not what it used to look like.
Hmm.
You can see all the
No,
imperfections, but I mean, come
I
on.
found the switch no problem this time. It was
That you see the CRT's not gonna screw me up. Nuh-uh.
right, exactly.
I know exactly where it is. Um, yeah. I can't wait to play Max Payne 2 again though, because
Yeah.
there's just like they really, even though they shortened the game by like half the amount of time to finish it, they put so much more variety into the levels, except for like I think you visit that weird carnival section like a couple of times, which is kind of dumb. But like there's just more variety to like everything. Um yeah, anyway, it's I'm very excited to go actually play that one.
Yep.
But so Max Payne ended up selling in its sort of, I guess, reporting lifestyle. I guess is I don't think they've stopped. I don't know. I don't think they count the sales on like the digital like buying the digital version on the Xbox store of the old
Hmm.
game anymore. But they sold 4 million units of the first game, which was pretty good
Hmm.
for a game like that came from a developer that their first game was an isometric like car racing game. So
Yeah.
So they did all right. Those guys over there at Remedy, they're going places.
Hmm.
Just you wait.
They sure are.
Yeah,
It's
just you
like,
wait. They might even come up with a game full of weird X-Files things to deal with, you know? Who knows?
mhm,
They
mhm.
might dedicate a whole game to that. Um I don't know. I think that's pretty much all I have to say. I mean, I think I personally think Max Payne holds up incredibly well. Like it's dated, it's of its time, yada yada, but like it's one of those games that for me is maybe it's because of my nostalgia and where I was at that it still like resonates with me, but I still find it very engaging.
Well, yeah, it avoids some things that make it, whether you have nostalgia for them or not. Let me just to be perfectly honest, like that Jaws game, right?
Hmm.
I loved that first Jaws game when I played it back in the day. Trying to
Hmm.
play it now and how camera control works now versus, at least this game is still playable and enjoyable, right? And it's not necessarily just because of nostalgia. It's just that it's still a good game and it's playable. And that's rare for those early, 3D games because camera movement was just so, if you even had camera movement, was so bad.
Oh yeah. And that was their biggest concern because they wanted to make a 3D game like Tomb Raider but without the issue of Tomb Raider, which
Mm,
was its camera.
good Lord, yes. The first Tomb Raider I played it actually liked was the remake or the whatever, the new ones, the first of the new ones.
The the
I
first of the
tried
hmm
the one that was just Tomb Raider
Yeah.
that like was very Uncharted-ish or whatever.
Yeah, great game.
I loved that.
Hmm.
But I rented one on the PS1 because it was in every magazine, it was on the cover of everything. I was like, oh my God, this is the new, like, this is the best thing in gaming and this, that. And I was like, I hate this. Like, I hated it. And then part two came out and it was getting nines and tens. And I was like, oh shit, they fixed it. And I rented two and I was like, I hate this. Like I could not deal with the controls, like the way she moved, the way she turned, the way. And I played Resident Evil, bro. It wasn't just the tank thing that I didn't like. There was just something about it, and I was just like, "This is not for me.
Yeah, she would like
This is
waddle.
like,
She'd waddle.
yeah."
Yeah.
And then like, one button to jump, but then the other button was to catch the ledge, and then you had to get a running start, but she ran like shit anyway, and so the momentum was all wonky. And like I killed Laura Croft more times in two rentals than I did playing the entire trilogy, that new trilogy.
New trilogy's pretty good. I still have to finish the third one, which is the Mayan one.
Mm,
But I played through the first two completion. I loved
yeah,
them.
I loved Rise. I thought Rise was really good.
Rise is really good. The good video games, man. Very good. I
Hmm.
do I do like that the new uh I think they're Asper remasters of Tomb Raider. They really fixed a lot of the control
Mm,
stuff that it makes it like fun to go back to those games and be like, okay, Yeah, it's still like old and janky, but
Hmm.
I'm not gonna throw my controller.
Cool, I did.
So, yeah, I think, yeah, I think camera's a big deal, and I think they really nailed like the third. I think it in a lot of ways like kind of set, the blueprint too for a lot of action games, like third person action
Hmm.
games moving forward. I mean, they really it's it can't be undersold, like at that time, like you had Halo come out, that set the groundwork for like console FPS games, and you had games like Max Payne come out, and that set the groundwork and blueprint for like how action games should play on the console,
Yep.
and then when they came out with Max Payne 2, they're like, how about we make everything fall down? Like how about you can just push things around, wouldn't that be fun? And then
Hmm.
you can shoot the guy in the warehouse with the who's on the forklift. I don't know, it's very
Hmm.
fun. Max Payne is so good. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think in a lot of ways it's like such a simple game, but yet it had so much of an effect on everything else, and there's so many things like built into it that are seeds for things that became a lot greater in Remedy later on. Um, and you just didn't know it at the time, and now you look back and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, that's
all
the best thing about replaying the stuff the way
you're like
we
it's all
are.
there
It's like,
already.
yeah,
It's
it
all
was
still
there all
there.
along. Yeah.
Even like the weird like nightmare
Hmm.
scenarios with Max when he's like running through the blood or on the blood and all that stuff. Like
Hmm.
that is just so typical of Remedy. Like if they put that in a game now, I'd be like, yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
that's a thing they would do. If they made Alan run on a line of blood
Oh,
to a dead
100%. I
to a
mean, hell,
dead
it's
baby crib.
what
Yeah.
what you yeah, I mean, you climbed a fucking darkness tornado in Alan Wake, so
Yeah.
it's not that far off. Just following a blood trail in the dark.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Um, that's all I really got to say about Max Payne, I think. I think it's just
Yeah.
it's still a perfect little game, and I'm excited to go really like step into Max Payne 2 because I think it has a lot more meat to it. Um
Yeah.
and and in a lot of ways that was they were done with Max Payne at that point. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
considered Max Payne 2 to be the end of the Max Payne stuff. So,
And
Max Payne
I
3 is what's that? Sorry.
no, I was just gonna say this will literally be my second time. I've only played that game once. I played it when it first came out on the Xbox. I still have the copy, but I never played it again.
You get to hang
Some of
out.
these games, I've like this one I had played 3 or 4 times and still couldn't remember a lot of the stuff. But
Uh-huh.
this one's gonna be like playing for the first time again.
Yeah, just Mona Sachs is back.
Hmm.
And
I
it's
know
a
there's that, and I know it makes me snipe. And
yeah, that's not the best part. But
mm-mm,
there is a lot of playing with the narrative, which I thought was very clever for the time.
mm.
So it's gonna be fun to kind of go back and see like you can just tell Sam Lake was like thinking he was so cool and hip with his new degree or whatever he got, certification.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Well, all right. Till next time, make sure to follow Mitch on the internets. He's on Substack as well. He
Yeah.
wrote about Metallica recently, which I also often think about Metallica for some reason. Because I think Metallica had a profound effect, like if you were growing up in the 90s, obviously, or
Yeah.
pretty for a while. I mean, I don't know. I don't think anybody past the 90s growing up would have like Metallica would have the same effect on
No,
them,
not the
right?
same. No,
No,
not at
because it
all.
was like after like the Black Album,
Yeah, right.
it
I
was
mean,
just
yes.
like it was just sort of
After
like a different
everything
era.
everything post the Black Album is just people arguing about whether or not this record is better or worse than the last one.
Yeah, basically, basically, and then like why did they cut their hair or something like that?
Yeah, you're right. Yes, it's that was not just everybody, but like those of us who listened to them the whole time arguing about whether or not this one's better than the last one.
Because
Like,
it was basically like Metallica. It was just like all bangers,
yeah,
and then it wasn't that, and then it was like people
right.
trying to figure out if it was good anymore or not. And I'm okay saying it's not very good. There's a few
Hmm.
singles and things I like, But I don't know. Also like Lars Ulrich, just like the taste of just like
Oh
him.
yeah, I
I
know.
just
Yes.
I can't I just can't after that documentary, man, I just really
Yeah, I know. I understand.
like I thought that
Totally
documentary
understand.
was cool, like just to see a lot of them and stuff like that, but like I mean Lars Ulrich is just a trash person. I just don't get
Yes,
it,
he
man.
is. Yeah.
And he's not a good drummer. Like
Right.
he's just not. Like it's fine. Like it worked for what they were doing and like he had a lot of guidance for like the Black album and stuff, but like
Mm,
that dude really he doesn't have the chops, I don't think. Um but I do like the way the drum sounds on the Black album though. The drum kit sounds really good on the Black album.
mhm.
Um but that was all what's his face?
Bob Rock.
Bob Rock, yeah. Bob Rock. He made them what they are in a lot of ways. He's kind of to blame for everything, to be
Yeah, I was
honest.
gonna say.
He's kind of like he definitely like saw their potential from like their thrash era and was like we can
Hmm.
they have like there's a bigger sound there and
Right.
he found it and then he also with the same swipe also just completely obliterated them as a
Yeah.
band.
Yeah. Yep.
So like I don't know like I don't know. I don't know. I mean what? Black Album is one of the best selling albums of all time, so who cares, I guess.
Yes.
I mean, you can't be mad at like, if you made Thriller or something. You can't be mad about that. So anyways, load reload, a weird era. Um
Yep.
I mean, it's an era I understand because I don't even really know how you would follow up the Black Album to be like I don't even know
Hmm.
what you do. Like I feel like you'd have to put out some poopers.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Um, but
Well, it's weird. It's almost like the sophomore slump thing, right? Even though
yeah,
Load was not their second record. Like
right.
it's just the band had reinvented with the Black Album. And so Load in a lot of ways was, their second record with its new like trying to change things up because they went from doing, albums with six epic length tracks or eight epic length tracks to, 14 4-minute tracks like a regular record. Back
Yeah.
in the day, they were all like 12 minutes, 13 minutes, like they
Hmm.
were just incredible. And then, yeah, they kind of made them more for the radio and more for, I don't know, I don't know, whatever, for whatever reason, changing their sound and then completely changed again. And it just, but I don't know. I just kind of I was fucking around on YouTube and I saw this little mini documentary about it, and then I saw an unboxing of this like they just released this like mega box set for Load. It has this like art book and like all these things and the vinyl and stuff, and I was just like,
Is there
I
like a
remember that time.
is there like a revisionist history going on where people are like, this is actually an amazing album? Is that what's
No,
happening?
I don't think so. But it just I don't know. It just like reminded me of that summer. I guess I don't know, and I just was like, I want to talk about
Hmm.
Metallica.
Anyways, you should read it. Metallica chit chat is always fun for me. Poor Kirk Hammett just stuck between two arguing parents all the time.
Yeah,
Jason Newsted had to get out of there.
yeah,
He had to get out of there and make prog rock. He had to go in the other direction because
right.
he just couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't take their childish
Childish.
behavior.
Yes.
R.I.P. Cliff. Um,
Yeah.
and I am also on Stubs, and we are gonna talk about Max Payne 2 next month, and Mitch might buy my Switch OLED, but we'll see. Who knows? And sell it to him for $600.
Oh yeah, recoup that Switch 2 money, baby.
Listen, Mitch. I gotta make money back on my Switch 2 and my Switch OLED. So you either pay $600 or get fucked. You're
I
like,
can
bro, I
tell you
can.
which way I'm leaning.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks y'all for listening, and keep on, keep on playing the video game.